Hey everybody, Shannon here again today with Skills for Kids to do the fourth of our parenting skill series, which is nurture. So I know I'm looking a little rough this morning. It's Sunday, so I did not go and get ready until the last minute. But again, I just wanted to touch base with everybody today. I said that we would do our olive hours 8 days in a row, so I wanted to make sure that we did today as well. We're going to talk about nurturing our children today. Again, our purpose is just that we want to be able to be a part of the village that raises all the children in our communities. So just like everywhere else, people right here in Alamance County, surrounding counties, Graham, Burlington, Elon, everybody just wants to be able to raise their children the best that they can and have as much help and support as possible. And that's what we want to do. So today we're going to talk about the nurturing. So to nurture our kids means probably a little bit something different in the way that we're presenting it than what you would think of. A lot of times people say, if you nurture your kids, you're babying them, you're creating crybabies, you're making them, whatever people say. But what we want to do is present it in a way that it means we are taking our kids where they are. We are trying to change behavior sometimes versus the child themselves. Just like in a lot of relationship books, you'll see, don't try to change the person. You may ask that a certain behavior change, but you can't try to change the person. They are who they are. Kids are the same way. They have individual personalities. They have individual personality and character traits, passions, desires, and we don't want to change the child. But there are times as they're growing, and it's our job as parents to change the behavior and redirect the behavior into a more positive direction. So let's get started with mistakes. Mistakes are okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Us as adults, we make mistakes every day. And when people come down extremely harshly on us about mistakes, sometimes it makes us not want to continue trying and not want to continue doing what we're doing, what we're pushing for. Kids are the same way. So with certain mistakes, sometimes parents should be excited. Oh my goodness, there was a mistake made. It gives me an opportunity to teach. It gives me an opportunity to let my child know that this was a mistake, why it was a mistake, and like we talked about yesterday, give a do-over. Say, what could you have done differently? Okay, now let's practice that. Let's practice doing it the right way versus the wrong way. So as you can see now, the more we get into the parent skills, the more they all connect to one another. So it's not like any one of these parenting skills is a standalone parent skill. They all connect together in some way. So take all mistakes. Look at them as an opportunity to teach. And just like we said yesterday, doesn't mean that there's never any punishment or consequences that go with mistakes or with poor decisions that are made. It's just that it helps us to look at it from a different perspective and approach it differently. So even if the mistake warrants some sort of consequence that goes with it, that's okay. We can still use it as an opportunity to teach and have them think about what would have been a better choice, what would have been a better way to approach it, and when it's applicable, make them try it again. Make them have the opportunity to learn from it. Again, a lot of times we all really remember things much better if we have to do it again, or we have to write it down, or any of those types of things. Use those in correcting the mistakes and pointing out how they could have done things a little bit differently. Redefine weaknesses. What does that mean? Well, let's say, for example, we said crybaby a minute ago. People would go, oh, you're nurturing your kid too much, you're making a crybaby out of them. Is it really that they're a crybaby, or is the child a very emotional child, a very sensitive, feeling child. That's not a bad character to have. We just need to help them to redefine that skill instead of just suddenly bursting into tears or crying about every little thing. Explain to them at age appropriate levels, again, 3 and 4 year olds don't know language as well as the teens and everywhere in between, that hey, it's great that you feel so much. It's really great that you feel so deeply. However, instead of crying every time, let's think about how else we can do. The people who are very empathetic like that, who feel so deeply, they're probably going to be kids that grow up to be awesome parents, awesome teachers, owners of big daycare systems, all of these types of things where they can take that caring, that empathy, that ability to feel so deeply and turn that into something that's extremely positive. The kids who are what we would think of sometimes as a little too competitive or sometimes too hard on themselves. Maybe they get really upset and angry if they don't get something right the first time, if they don't win the game every time. Somebody tells them, no, you can't do it that way, you have to do it this way, and they get really upset, overly sometimes, the way that we see it. Those kids, maybe they're going to be the president one day. They have that passion, that drive, that I'm going to go, I'm going to meet that goal. That's where I'm getting. Maybe they'll be a CEO of a large company, a small company. Maybe they'll start as a small business owner, own their own business, and turn it into something great. Even the kids with all the empathy, maybe they'll open their own small business and care for people, maybe a nonprofit, whatever. But look at it as, what triggers my child? And again, that's a part of that attunement that we talked about. What triggers your child? What is the passion? Now, the behavior that goes with the trigger, we may need to help redefine or direct it into a different direction. So you have the opportunity now as the parent to take that skill and nourish it and decide what direction it should go in. So maybe instead of, hey, they lose the game and they get upset. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, you want to be really super great at this, and you really like to be the leader, and you like to be, out in front. What can we do to work on it so that next time you do even better? Okay, and maybe it's kicking the ball better, or it's dribbling better, or it's turning 3 times on 1 foot in dance class instead of 2. Whatever it may be that really is driving that child, help them pick out something that they can work on to be better, or help them to pick out in something that they can do. Okay, so you're out for right now, but we're going to play a second or third round. What can you do that's positive that will help while they're playing the game? You could clap for them. So you still have a job, you're still connected, you're still a part of the game, but your involvement in the game is that you are clapping for others. You're clapping for your team. You are helping them to point out where the ball is or where they can go. You're sort of helping to be a sideline coach or any of those things that are appropriate in the activity. It helps them to direct. It helps you to choose the direction. How? You as the parent are helping them to understand what they need to do in order to take the passion, the drive, the empathy, the skill that they have, and turn that into something that is going to help them become the person that they want to become one day, to help them to do whatever it is that they choose to do. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it helps you to step back and look at the behaviors of a child from a little bit of a different perspective. And again, as some of the other things we've talked about, take that deep breath, be patient, talk to the child, find out where the behavior is coming from, and again, let them know that they're not a bad child. They have made some poor decisions, maybe bad decisions, not bad children. We need to change the behavior. We don't need to change the child. Not that any of this is easy, but as we all have learned, parenting is not an easy job. So hopefully you didn't hear my dogs backing in the background and they weren't getting on your nerves like they sometimes can mine. Let's go into next week as positive as we can about the current situation that we have. Again, keeping in mind, you can do this. You are doing a great job. You are keeping it together. We can get through this whole thing together. And again, it is temporary. I know we hear a lot of people say that all the time, but it is. Everything will be back to normal. You will be able to function without the social distancing, without having to do everything online, without everything. So I certainly hope, again, that this is helpful for you. If there's anything that we can do for you as far as situations that you're addressing with your kids at home, feel free, comment below, email them to us, give us a call, anything at all that we can address for you, we're more than happy to address on our parenting series. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.